Lovely people, a pleasant afternoon to you. Now, beautiful people, I'm looking at the star boy. This particular segment, print has some serious things in it. A lady catching scabies while in lockup, and this is another heartbreak. I don't even remember what. Oh, I'm seeing it here now. CPFSA, that is the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. I don't know if they were formerly CDR. It's two different companies. I sometimes can't recall. Maybe somebody who is familiar can let me know. So CPFSA issues warnings after back-to-back child drownings. Let me tell you something. God will hold us accountable when we are not vigilant where children are concerned. We keep turning away and turning a blind eye to say it's not my business, it is yours. When they're underage, even if they're not in your care, when you see children doing some things that are not safe and healthy, it is your business to say something. It doesn't matter if whomever may be around and saying leave them. At least you know the blood is off your shoulder. God will hold you accountable. I'm telling you, people. So don't bother feel say you escape. You may escape the laws of man, but you will not escape the laws of God. You see, when me see little picnic them are this and that, and me I go say something to them. I am going to. I mean, what, I don't even know what to say. What is happening with us as adults? A chilling warning is being issued to Jamaicans to ensure that their surroundings are safe for children. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is sounding the alarm following the heartbreaking drowning of 9-year-old Samuel Clark in Manchester, an incident that has left a family shattered and a nation uneasy. Young Clark reportedly entered an unsecured water tank on a neighbor's property while attempting to retrieve a ball he had been playing with. CPFSA said based on preliminary reports, he and a sibling were left in the care of a landlord, but he had gone outside to play unsupervised. Lord. The tragedy mirrors another recent heartbreak. Just weeks earlier, 5-year-old Rakima Williams of Clarendon died after drowning in an open cistern. I remember that. And I vlogged on it at a property where her family was temporarily staying. I wonder if it's that one or another one, but something close to this one. With two similar incidents in such close succession, it's crazy. This is madness. The agency says the pattern is deeply troubling. It really is. And it's as adults, we're not caring. Men can't say pick me around and I say nothing to them. And whatever it is, I say, where are your parents? Where your I don't care. Make them feel funny. Let them say whatever it is. I am not joking around. Because that is going to rest on you. That blood is on your shoulder and your conscience. It's going to be singed and snared. Where is our hearts? We don't even have no little heart towards the picnic and the elderly. The children, you just see children running around and doing all manner of things and you say nothing because they're not yours. It doesn't matter if you even you don't get along with it. You say something, sound an alarm. Sound an alarm so that the adults, responsible for the children can come around. My God, no sir. We're really cold-hearted in this place. Where am I now? These repeated incidents serve as painful reminder that children are especially vulnerable to environmental hazards, said CEO of CPFSA, Laurette Adams Thomas. At no time should children be left unsupervised, particularly in spaces where there are open or unsecured water sources. Leaving children unattended, even for short periods, can have devastating consequences because they're learning, they're curious, their curiosity higher than for me and for you. When we this big stage, we fast more than anything else, and are curious alone, fast, and not for meddle and create problems for others, mix up. But they're curious because they're learning. So everything is going to be exciting to them because they're learning. That is a part of how God made them. So you have to supervise them. You don't lock them like them in a jail cell or whatever it is. But you make sure that they're protective barriers and they're Okay, let me read this back again. At no time should children be left unsupervised, particularly in spaces where there are open or unsecured water sources. Leaving children unattended, even for short periods, can have devastating consequences. Lack of proper supervision also constitutes neglect, which is a form of child abuse under the law, she stated. And I don't want people to talk about my child because I've told them that, yes, you may guide them, and one or two may know that when they say that, they to run from it. Not the average child. And even sometimes that one that you think that you have guided will still may just become a little bit curious. And that is where the problem starts. The agency is reminding parents, guardians, and property owners of their responsibility to ensure that their surroundings are safe for children. This includes conducting regular checks to secure all water sources, such as tanks, cisterns, drains, ponds, and other bodies of water. We are urging all caregivers and property owners to take proactive steps to secure water sources. Water tanks and cisterns must be properly covered and locked, while ponds and other natural water bodies should be securely fenced with controlled access, Adams Thomas said. We must all, barring none, all as adults, we must all take responsibility for creating safe spaces for our children. Regular checks of your property to identify and secure potential hazards can make the difference between life and death. And these simple preventative measures can save our children's lives, Adams Thomas had added. I cannot believe that we're in a Jamaica now where people don't care about children. They don't. Because I'm wondering if no one saw that child going into the water tank. Because he was, we get so distraught. Once you have a child around, you can't get, as if they're in your house and the girl is locked and they can't get out, then fine. And even then you still need to say, call to the child and say, so and so, Tom, Dick, Harry, Jill, Jane, where are you? What are you doing? And let them know that you're no nonsense. Anything, when they're curious to get a little too way out, wacky and wild and way out, them, trust me, them have enough sense. They say let them pull themselves together and not go out of whack. You understand? You have to teach them that from day one, but they must be supervised. Once you have them, you can't just leave them. With open spaces we're talking. And again, even if they're in an enclosed environment, you still have to see what is happening. You still have to see what is happening because they're very curious at that age. And they're going to be engaging in something or whatever it is. You have to still be, and you go and see what they're doing and ask and say, what is happening so and so? What is going on? What is this? What is that? Yeah, man. Be inquisitive in there. Do an inquisition. Don't even joke around with them. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, because that is how you're teaching them now. Lord, I have to be careful now because I'm going to be held accountable by Toni-Ann, by Tom, by Jill, by Jane, by Dick, and Harry. They're going to, because you're teaching them that. And once you're in open spaces, you're like hawk. You're like the owl where watch the rat wait to try soup down on to eat. You're like a eagle. Your eyes don't move off of them. You understand? You give them the playtime to play and run up and down and what have you and what, and then you come right and then they say, all right, time to pack up and we're back in. And be careful how you just leaving people with people like that if you're not so sure. Maybe, because things can happen, and people are going to be caring about their business. They're not going to be as vigilant as you would be with your own child. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality. They don't have that same energy as they would with their children, as they would with yours. Not everyone is like that. Most probably aren't that way, maybe. So you have to be very careful how you just leave your kids with things. That is why they try to leave them at daycare. Because having people watching your children, you have to know what you're doing. See, they know? Another child, drown. We have to be, let me tell you, if the laws of the land do not hold us accountable, God will. You have to be careful where children are concerned. He doesn't play with children. He expects us to safeguard them greatly. A word to the wise is certainly sufficient unto the day. Guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe, give me one of those lines, and follow me on Instagram.